Hello, and welcome to a little mini episode of Composed Living with Elsa Elbert. That's me. I'm Elsa. We are just trying to break up some of the bigger, more in depth conversations with little tips and tricks that are all focused on ways to either help you get organized or streamline or find balance or just generally helping you compose the life of your dreams, so to speak. So, today I want to share with you some really easy tips that we have I've just used these throughout my life to make sure I'm really aligned in my daily habits and what it is that I'm doing with the way that I want my life to look and feel. So, however you want to talk about that, whether it's, living your best life or co-creating something with the universe or simply writing down ways to bring more joy into your life. This whole exercise is just about taking the time to think about what it is that you want in your life and then taking action steps to make that happen. So it's just bringing awareness of what it is that you want and then acknowledging if you're already doing those things or if you need to maybe put some more of those things into practice so that, by the end of your life, you look back and think, I did all of the things that I wanted to do and I felt the way I wanted to feel. So I do this um, probably a lot, I guess, definitely more than the average person. Sometimes this is what I do if I just feel like I'm in a funk or if I feel like I'm just like sort of not happy. I'll sit down and write a list of all the things that do make me happy because it's such a good reminder. And then some of those things are just so easy that I can go do one or two of them right there in that moment. And it's very uplifting for me. Also, it's so helpful for me to realign, my thoughts with my actions and make sure I'm on the same page with myself, my goals for my own life. And I'm a very visual person. I don't think it's any secret that I love a to-do list. And, writing a to-do list of joy is, yeah, it's really nice. But for me, it's like the act of writing something down on paper helps to get it out of my brain. And I no longer have to worry about it or have it like swirling around with all the other thoughts. So it really is like an anxiety relief for me too. So today I want to share three different activities that I use. They're all wonderful. They all work the same way. It just depends on what feels the most intuitive for you and how much time you have. So the first version, this is maybe a bit more time consuming, but I think it's definitely worthwhile to do, especially if you've never done sort of like a living vision before. This is a great place to start. So there's all sorts of guided meditations you can listen to. I bet if you just went and like Googled living vision meditation, you'll find something. I like to just put on some chill music in the background, something that doesn't have any words. I have like a great pure meditation playlist. But just anything in the background that's like mellow, happy, upbeat, whatever makes you feel calm and will allow your mind to focus. Just put on some tunes, grab your journal, and start writing for as long as it takes about what your ideal life looks like. I would write it in present tense as though you are currently experiencing it. So, I am living in my beach house right now. I'm looking at the ocean. I'm smelling the air, the salty air. I'm hearing seagulls flying above, this kind of detail. So you really want to focus on every aspect of your life. What's your physical health? What's your mental health? How do you feel? Where are you living? What are you looking at? What kind of car are you driving? Or do you not drive a car because that's your dream? What are you eating? Who are you surrounded by? What books are you reading? What's your career look like? Or are you retired? What's just every single thing that you can think of that would make up the absolute ideal life for you? And then try and write down what like a day in that life looks like. What time do you wake up? What's the first thing you do? Who's around you? Is someone cooking breakfast for you? What does it smell like? Are you a matcha latte person? Are you a fresh squeezed orange juice person? Like every detail of this dream day. What do you do? Who do you see? What do you eat? Are you working? Do people come to you? Do you go to an office? Do you live in a skyscraper with a doorman, or do you live completely off the grid in a tiny house in a forest? Just get so detailed. And, you know, that's it. It's very easy. Nobody else ever has to read this. It's totally for you. It's okay if you change it. It's okay if you have more than one. I think it's just really helpful for your mind to get very clear on what's in your heart, for those two things to be aligned and say, this is what I want. And I believe that this can happen for me, you know? And I think the more we write it down, the more we're able to visualize that life. It comes in really handy. One, it helps you to think about your day to day habits. Like, is going to McDonald's going to help my life vision of having ultimate health and wellness? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If you ask my husband, he'll say whatever you eat, as long as it makes you happy, is good for you. If you ask me, I take a more scientific approach, but I still also, love some fast food from time to time. It's all about balance, right? Uh, so, it helps you to align your days around what it is that you really want, instead of kind of going through each day without having that clear focus, or being hyper focused on like the micro details of the day. Like, we all know we have to wake up and brush our teeth and have breakfast and get the kids to school, whatever our daily tasks are. But it's not very often that I find myself thinking, what am I doing for my huge picture dreams today? What steps am I going to take today that are going to get me closer to that vision of living on the beach, where someone makes me a warm coconut matcha latte every morning, and I go for a swim in the ocean and the water's always warm, and all of these things. Uh, so just aligning your heart with your mind and getting very clear on that, so that each day, or in the moment when you remember, you can call on that living vision and just refocus your attention and your energies in that moment. So that's probably the longest one. This is writing out or creating the big picture of the living vision. A shorter version of that is the I want, I don't want circle. This is a fun activity. So you can take a piece of paper or a napkin, whatever you have around you, in your journal, doesn't really matter. There's no rules. Again, this is just for you. You draw a circle, and inside that circle, you write the words, I want. Sorry, my hair is like wild today. Outside of the circle, you write, I don't want. And then set a timer for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever feels right for you. You could even do 1 minute. And for 1 minute, focus only on writing as many things that you do want inside that circle. And feel free to be playful or trivial or serious. It's all just for you, just whatever comes into your mind. I want great pizza. I want travel. I want romance. I want to write a book. I want the perfect capsule wardrobe. I want a great pair of comfortable black knee-high boots. I want a horse. I don't know, whatever. All the things that you can think of that you want, no matter the seriousness or lack of seriousness around those things. It's just such a healthy exercise for your brain and your mind to focus on the things that you do want more of in your life. And it's wonderful to see it written down. I love doing this in my journal because I do it with relative frequency. And so you can go back and see old things, new things, kind of compare what shows up every time, and what's totally novel. Then you reset the timer for the same amount of time, and you write all the things you don't want on the outside, because just as important as it is for us to be very aware of what we do want to bring more of into our lives, it's equally important to know what you don't want. What am I not trying to work towards, or what do I want to remove from my life? A big one for me is divorce, chaos, stress. I don't want any of these things in my life. I don't want disease. I don't want depression. I don't want, I don't know. I don't want clutter in my house. Uh, just think of all the things that you don't want. And again, compare where some new things might have come up. And, once you take a look at those lists, especially over time, I think it shows a really interesting path, like something might pop up that's new in the don't want section. And it might be because something happened in your life. There was a new circumstance, and now you're kind of more focused on preventing this thing from creeping in. So it's just great to have that awareness. So that's an easy one. You can set a timer for whatever amount of time feels right for you, and do this one, as often as you need to. My last one is, well, it's a list, shocking, but it's a list of things that bring you joy. I actually keep this list on the Notes app on my phone so that I can reference it as often as I want to. I also like doing this on birthdays and writing down a list of all the things that I love, like times however many years I am. So this year I'll be turning 42. I'll make a list of 42 things that bring me joy. It's shocking how difficult that can be sometimes. So it's, again, something I love to practice, and something I just like to have with me so that I can reference it. Like I said, in those moments where I'm feeling a little glum, I can go back and be like, I love fresh flowers. Like, that's pretty easy. I could go to Trader Joe's right now and just get some flowers and put them on my nightside table, and that'll cheer me up every time I'm getting in and out of bed. Or I love when the house smells nice, and I make these room spritzes that are just like water and essential oil in a spray bottle. So I can just go around and spritz the whole house, and it really lifts my spirits. So just write a list of everything that brings you joy. The smell of lemons, orange blossoms in the summer, fresh squeezed orange juice, seeing kids selling lemonade on the side of the road. I'm really into lemons at this moment in time, it seems. The ocean always brings me joy. Being on any body of water brings me joy. Watching fireworks, reading a book, staying in bed on a snow day, conversations with girlfriends and a bottle of wine, rooftops in New York City, teaching kids how to do something new, seeing a look of delight on their faces when they learn something new, travel, sushi. There's so many wonderful things in the world. So just write them all down, keep it close by, keep it in your journal or on your phone, and, reference it. I think it's also a really good check to see, like, these are all the things that make me truly happy, and how many of them am I doing with regularity? That was a really big eye opener for me a few years ago when I had this huge list of things that were really simple. None of them cost money. And then I looked at it and I was like, when was the last time I lit a scented candle in my house? Or when was the last time I took a walk on the beach? So it really puts things in perspective, like how much we focus on the things that are maybe more productive or more task oriented in our lives, without really incorporating an equal amount of things that are just about joy. So I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, if you want to share your progress, if you want to share your lists, you can always DM me on Instagram. You can email us. All of our contact information is on all of the episode show notes or on our website. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in.